Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. It's the 4th of July Saturday card at Belmont Park featuring the Grade 1 Run Happy Metropolitan Handicap. But the first grade stakes race on the card is race number 3. Let's throw up the field for the Victory Ride. It's a Grade 3 for 3-year-old fillies going 6.5 furlongs. Only a field of 5. Mike, disappointed. No show wagering because of the presence of Frank's Rocket. 3 to 5 on the morning line, the controlling speed, and arguably the best horse.
Yeah, I mean, all those things conspire to make horses odds-on favorites on the morning line, and it sort of looks like she deserves to be, Dan. She's found a spot here where she's fastest on the way in, and it looks like there's no other speed to go with her.
That's a really key component right there as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. Frank's Rocket, the number 1 chicklet, expected to make a lonely lead in a blue bar scenario. In Timeform US parlance, that means they believe this race will favor horses on or near the early lead. And to really highlight that there's not a lot of pace in this race, the 3, Reagan's Edge, who is second on the pace projector, well, she came from 6th to win her most recent start. Let's start with Frank's Rocket. Multiple Grade 1 placed as a 2-year-old, 2 for 3 this year. The only loss coming over a sloppy track against the very promising Wesley Ward-trained filly Kamari. Last time out at Churchill, Bill Mott found a great spot. She was odds on. She was supposed to dominate that field, and she did.
Yeah, she did. And that race sort of has some similarities to this one, Dan. There just wasn't that much speed in that race. And, she broke towards the front. She went to the lead in there, didn't have to go that fast. And when she put away her nearest challenger on the stretch, it was an easy win for her. I obviously respect her in here. I realize that she's way the horse to beat and is going to be a short price. I'm not a huge fan of hers anymore. I don't have a lot of confidence in her if she's going to get into a race where somebody can challenge her. And I'm hoping that somebody can challenge her in here.
The number 2, Up in Smoke, is a perfect 4 for 4 sprinting. The only loss came over a wet track going 2 turns. Now, she cut back successfully in her most recent start. This race, the Game Face Stakes at Gulfstream Park, and we see her. She rallied from last in this race, the 3, Up in Smoke. She's on the outside right now. She took over. She's this good, stout-looking sprint type. And Up in Smoke, I thought finished this race off very well, Mike. And to her credit, she earned a career best buyer speed figure of 82, hailing range of Frank's Rocket's last race, and 87. Now, maybe she's pace compromised. If that's the case, she could be in trouble.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Listen, overall, I like all 4 of her wins, all of her sprint races. And I realized that her figures after her debut win were going the wrong way, but I still felt like she looked good winning those races. And she looked good winning again last time. I don't know how she's going to beat this field from last necessarily, Dan, but she's pretty good.
Fans of the buyer speed figures will note that the 3, Reagan's Edge, like the 1, Frank's Rocket, well, they both bring 87 buyer speed figures to the table. Reagan's Edge is a perfect 2 for 3 in her career. I still think there's a question as to how good Reagan's Edge is. Her career debut was a victory at Indiana Grand, and last time out, she just beat a field of turf horses in an off-the-turf race.
Yeah, I guess that's the real question. Not only was it an off-the-turf race, but it was at 5.5 furlongs as well. And so, an 87 buyer going that distance, you want to look at it at least with a small grain of salt. We'll see if she can back it up, Dan. I will say this about her win last time. She was relentless through the stretch on that race because that was easily a spot where she could have finished second, considering how much ground she had to make up on the runner-up in the stretch. But she did not stop coming and actually closed that horse down at the end.
Many of our friends at home will believe that the 4, Center Isle is the one to give Frank's Rocket the most headaches, if anyone's going to give the favorite a challenge. Center Isle, a $1.5 million 2-year-old in training purchase by the Super Stallion Into Mischief. Very impressive debut winner with an 88 buyer. Last time out, off the board at odds on at Churchill Downs. But it was a situation, Mike, where she didn't break. Then she fell far behind a slow pace in a race that was won by a useful horse.
Yeah, I mean, all those things are true. And to add in the fact after the slow start, she had to come wide. For whatever reason, she got very green in the stretch and, almost stopped running while she drifted in. And then she picked it up again late. It just felt like the kind of race where, considering everything that went wrong, she actually didn't run that poorly. And when you go back to her debut, I don't know about you, Dan, I thought she looked really good in that race.
Miss Pepina's the number 5. Miss Pepina 30-1 on the morning line. I think Gary Gullo is one of the more underrated trainers in New York. He's done a nice job with Miss Pepina. Got an upset debut win with her last year, a couple of fourths in graded stakes races. And to me, that last race on the turf was just a means to an end. I don't think Miss Pepina is a turf horse. I think that was just a race to open up her lungs. That being said, this is a tough spot, but you understand why Gary's taking a shot. It's a big purse. If she could somehow get third, her value skyrockets as a broodmare.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what she does. Obviously, she's too slow on the way in here. It is worth noting that as a 2-year-old, she was pretty impressive when she won her debut. They ran her right in graded stakes races against Frank's Rocket. It's not like she was that far behind that horse in either the Adirondack or the Spinaway. And then they came back on turf last time. And you're right that I'm looking at it as a prep too. I think if you go back and formulate her, it only goes back 5 years. Gullo's turf to dirt stats are not going to blow you away. But if you go back further than that, and you and I probably remember this maybe a little better than some others, this used to be a huge move for Gullo. Turf to dirt and sprints, these horses used to win all the time. And over a bigger sample of races, he has great numbers with horses like this.
Well, let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Victory Ride. I have to admit, I'm going to chalk out. I don't want to have too much money in against Frank's Rocket, just simply considering the big pace advantage that she should have in this race. Mike, you like Center Isle in here, the number 4. Like you, I was really wowed by her career debut at Gulfstream. She goes out for Chad Brown, and I think the way she won that debut, she deserves a little bit of a mulligan for the race at Churchill. It is imperative that she gets out of the gate better this time around.
Yeah, that is imperative. We'll see if she can do it. I'm just going to take her because I wanted to take at least a small shot against Frank's Rocket, who, again, I just don't have a lot of confidence in. Chad Brown horses, his dirt horses get bet like his turf horses, but they don't run as well as his turf horses do. I'm hoping that this horse is one of the good ones.
4152 for Mike. 1324. We're kicking off the graded stakes action on the 4th of July card at Belmont Park on Saturday. The Victory Ride has an approximate post time of 2:24 Eastern. Good luck.